Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gurudev. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
6131. Hare Krishna, dear devotees and online guests and those who are interested in Krishna consciousness. I'm still interested. Today we're continuing reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, first, Text 31, The History of Life of Ajamila. I'll read the text. Vikarashtondra hridaya dashipatim ajamilam yama preshyan vishnuduta varyamasur ojasa. Vikarashtondra hridaya dashipatim ajamilam yama preshyan vishnuduta varyamasur ojasa.
Vikarsatantam hridaya Dasipatim Ajamilam Yamapresya Vishnudutta Varayam Asurodasa. Vikarsatam hridaya Dasipatim Ajamilam Yamapresya Vishnudutta Varayam Asurodasa.
Vikarasa, snatching. Anta hridaya, from within the heart. Dasipatim, the husband of the prostitute. Ajamilam, Ajamila. Yama Preshtyam, the messengers of Yamaraja. Vishnudutaha, the order carriers of the Lord Vishnu. Varyamasuhu, forbade. Ojasa, with resounding voices. The order carriers of Yamaraja were snatching the soul from the core of the heart of Ajamila, the husband of the prostitute, with the resounding voices, the messengers of the Lord Vishnu. The Vishnu Dusas forbade them to do so. The commentary of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A Vaishnava, one who has surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, is always protected to the Lord Vishnu. Order carriers, Lord Vishnu's order carriers. Because Ajamila had chanted the holy name of Narayana, the Vishnu Dutas not only immediately arrived on the spot, but also at once ordered the Yamadutas not to touch him. By speaking the resounding voices, the Vishnu Dutas, threatening to punish the Yamadutas if they continued trying to snatch Ajamila's soul from his heart. The order carriers of Yamaraja has jurisdiction over all sinful living entities, but the messengers of the Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, are capable of punishing anyone, including Yamaraj, if he wrongs a Vaishnava. Materialistic scientists do not know where to find the soul within the body with their material instruments, but the verse clearly explains that the soul is within the core of the heart, Hridaya. It's from the heart that the Yamadutas were extracting the soul from the Ajamila. Simultaneously, we learn that the super soul, Lord within the heart, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam hridayasha Arjuna tishtati. In the Upanishads, it is said that the super soul and the individual soul are living in the same tree of the body as two friendly birds. The super soul is said to be friendly because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind to the original soul that when the original soul transmigrates from the one body to another, the Lord goes with him. Furthermore, according to the desire and karma of the individual soul, the Lord, through the agency of Maya, creates another body for him. So kind. The heart of the body is mechanical arrangement. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 18:61, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridayarsuna shishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directed in wanderings all living entities who are seated is on a machine made of material energy. Yantra means a machine, such as an automobile. The driver of the machine of the body is individual soul, who is also its director or proprietor. But the supreme proprietor is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One's body is created through the agency of Maya, karmana daiva netrina, and according of the one's activities in this life, another vehicle is created. Again, under the supervision of Daivi Maya, Daivi Hesha Gunamahi Mama Maya Duratya, at the appropriate time, one's next body is immediately chosen. Both the individual soul and the super soul transfer to that particular bodily machine. This is the process of transmigration. During transmigration from the body to the next, the soul is taken away by the order carriers of Yamaraja and put into a particular type of hellish life, Naraka, in order to become accustomed to the condition in which he will live in his next body. End of purport. Vikarastandra hridaya dasipatyam ajamilam yama prishtam vishnuduta varyamasur ojasam. The order carriers of Yamaraja were snatching the soul from the core of the heart of Ajamila, the husband of the prostitute, but with the resounding voices, the messengers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, forbade them to do so. Magyanti Mirandasya Ginanjana Shakya Chakshur Miltam Ginatas Mashi Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yanabutale Swayam Rupada Kadamagyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguro Shri Utapadakamalam Shigurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyacha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. In the previous text from yesterday, I hope, it was said that, my dear king, the order carriers of Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, immediately arrived when they heard the holy name of their master from the mouth of the dying Ajamila, who had certainly chanted without offense because he had chanted in complete anxiety. It's the reason why he was qualified to receive the darshan of the Vishnu Dutas. It was without any offense, and it was with surrendering to this and complete anxiety. It was by the mercy of the Lord, actually. Usually they do not used to be in the process of transmigration of the soul. It's very rare, actually, that the Vishnu Dutas can be nearby the soul or like stop the Yamadutas to bind the soul. And it was actually the shock for them because they couldn't understand what kind of creatures, very bright, very beautiful, very strong, with a strong voice. They couldn't understand what kind of living entities are them. According to the sinful activities and desires in a time of death, the living entity was, by the laws of karma, laws of the Lord, they adjust to make a transition to the next body. And it's the process that Yamaraj make. They make, there's the process. There is 28 of hellish planets with different varieties of sense enjoyment, kind of. Because the material entity, the soul wants to enjoy the material senses, and Yamaraj gives this opportunity but in opposite side. After this process of transition to the next body in these 28 hellish planets, the consciousness of the living entity become very, very low. So in the next body, they could possibly try to have some happiness, some kind of rasa of the enjoyment of the material senses. For example, the pig, if immediately the person, the human being, will go immediately to the pig's body, it will be the most suffering, very, very suffering kind of life. But through this process, what Yamaraj gives, the consciousness of the living entity become very, very low. And through these sufferings, it's very understandable, actually, when Srila Prabhupada is saying that material happiness is when somebody beating you with a hammer on 23 hours a day, and 1 hour he's not beating you, and you feel happiness. It's the same when you have a lot of sufferings. You feel happy to have what you have. Some excrements, like Shal Prabhupada, for the pigs, and they are happy actually to have something, and it's very, very nourishing. It's very tasty for them. But the human being, it's disgusting. But through the sufferings, some of the people, they understand what kind of happiness they have. I mean that through some spiritual practices, our consciousness become a little bit higher and higher and higher, and we understand the higher taste of happiness, and we understand what that material enjoyment of senses, it's not gives any happiness to us. It's suffering. Prabhupada Saraswati is saying that Kaivalyam narakayate siddhasa prakasha prasayate durantraya kala sarpa pajali prakata damstrayate. One who receives the little flavor of the Lord's becomes so exalted that he does not care even for liberation, which is sought after by many great scholars and philosophers. Similarly, a devotee of Lord Chaitanya considers residence in the heavenly planets and will of the wisp. He suspends the perfection of mystic yoga power become for him the senses are like snakes with the broken fangs. It's like the senses become like a snakes with the broken fangs, because the devotee, he enjoy all his senses in the worship of the Lord, and for him it's Narayana para sarvena kutashana bibhyati. For him, or hellish conditions, the devotee is soul engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, never fear any condition of life. For him is heavenly planets, liberation of the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in serve of the Lord. For him it doesn't matter actually what kind of conditions he has. He knows he will serve, he served, he will serve to the Lord, because he has the firm conviction, taste, and the faith that only serving the Lord he will be happy, because it's his constitutional position. But he is not thinking actually about him. He is thinking about the Lord's happiness. We'll come back to the text in the next 40. Yeah, it's 6:148. It is said that the omnipotent Yamaraja, it will be in some days further, as the good as Lord Brahma, omnipotent Yamaraj, as good as Lord Brahma, for while situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart, like the Paramatma. It's very interesting. He mentally observes the past activities of the living entity and thus understands how the living entity will act in future lives. Yamaraja also understands that. But why? One should not consider Yamaraja an ordinary living as Lord Brahma. He has a complete cooperation with the Supreme Lord. Shishigornitai ki jai. Who is situated in everyone's heart, and furthermore, by the grace of Super Soul, he can see the past, present, and future of the living being from within. The Lord Anumima Mansate means that he can dedicate in consultation with the Super Soul. Anu means following. The actual decisions, considering the next lives and living entities, are made by the Super Soul, and they are carried out by Yamaraj. It's very interesting that we can see and we heard that Yamaraja has a lot of serving, who is writing all the scenes. What his name is? Chitragupta, yeah. But actually, in Bhagavatam, it is said that it's by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, by His grace and by His power, by the Super Soul, He can descend. Just a second. Because the soul, Super Soul, it's a witness, and there is two functions of the super. It witnesses and gives sanctions to the some activities, or pious or unpious activities, and by which this Super Soul actually is the source of this of the service of Yamaraj. He is just the instrument which takes the soul and educate the soul for the next lives, and it's Yamaraja's service. And it was the big surprise actually for Yamadutas to have somebody else in their service. When Vishnudutas came, it was surprise for them, because it's very, very rare in earth that immediately the Vishnudutas comes and take the soul to the supreme abode. Actually, they had in the future chapters, we will see that Ajamila will have the opportunity to change his life. He'll practice the bhakti yoga. Because the Lord actually Tisham Evanukampartham, He gives the show of the special mercy. I dwelling in their hearts, destroy will the shining lamp of knowledge, the darkness born in ignorance. Who fell down? No. Okay. I'm afraid. Because Lord gives the opportunity and gives the mercy even for those who are just trying to go on this path of bhakti yoga. Just trying. He gives the opportunity. He gives his mercy for those only who are trying. I'm not saying about Srila Prabhupada. His divine grace and his mercy, he gives a lot of opportunities for Jagais and Madhais, for those who lived very, very sinfully. We didn't even thought about that the Lord, like, it was so many, maybe 5-10 years ago, no, 7 years ago, we were cooking in the temple with another brahmachari, we were baking bread. Saying me, I never thought the whole my life that I'll live in a temple, he said, in the church, because he couldn't think that it could be the temple, that I will live in the church and I will bake bread. And it's the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the whole Guru Parampara that we have this opportunity to change our life, that to change our consciousness actually, in end of our life, that will be for sure, if we don't think about that and we don't assure about this, we can read the statistics, how many take birth and how many people are dying. It's the same quantity of people. And like Srila Prabhupada said, it's very obvious. You can see that people are dying, taking birth, and they are dying. And the time will come. And we are ready or not, it depends on us. We need to make, like the seniors saying that actually it's Lord Chaitanya's disciples, they're saying, I'm not sure, but I think it's Jiva Goswami, he's saying that the devotee need to build his life to make like a fence around him with devotees. Not the fence with some sticks and some hammers and some weapons to defend our propriety, our money and something. But we need to build our life that we can nearby devotees, or we have the opportunity to associate every day or as much as possible. It depends on us, where we live, with whom we live, and how much time we spend with devotees. And it depends on us because it will make this step that we will live nearby devotees. It automatically give a success of our life. Because devotees of the Lord, they think only about the Lord. And in this Kali Yuga, it's impossible to practice alone. Maybe for some time it's possible, but after some time, I was thinking to speak on, there is three main, just a second. Krishna, Krishna. Oh, it was here. Yeah. It's Bhakticharu Maharaj who passed away in the last year. From his point of view, Srila Prabhupada gave three main instructions, what we need to think in our lives. And the first one, that you will show your love by the cooperating with each other. It was a story actually. It 2 times actually when Prabhupada was saying that, because Bhakticharu Maharaj, it's not written anywhere about this instruction. It is said, but Tamal Krishna Maharaj and other disciples who was nearby, and actually Bhakticharu Maharaj was nearby also when Srila Prabhupada was saying about that. It was 14th of November, I think 74, 76, and Srila Prabhupada was sick, and it was in August. And after the London, he went to Vrindavan, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was reading some disciples' letter, and it was very, very sentimental, very powerful letter, and some of the disciples were crying actually when Tamal Krishna Maharaj was reading this letter. And that devotee, he said that Srila Prabhupada, I'm so I want to give, I very love you actually, and I want to give in my life instead of yours, that you will not die right now, like you're not passing the body. I will give my life to you. And it was very powerful actually. And Srila Prabhupada made this pause. He was silent for some minute. He didn't want some sentimental. Instead of that, he just wanted to say that we need to show our aim, our direction for the cooperation. And he said that. He said that the main thing is how you can show your love by cooperating with each other. It's more strongly for him, and those who was trying to cooperate in the mission of Srila Prabhupada, they understand how hard it is, because it's our ego, our desires, even in service of the Lord or in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. But by cooperating with each other, we can show the real love. By this, we can serve to the Lord, and in future, in years, actually. Because if someone can say, no, I don't want to serve like this, you can, if you want, you can do. I'm going home. And another person can say, I'm going home also. And there is no service like this. But the disciple and the disciple mood is like that we are surrendering by the seniors, or even some devotees who can, oh, it's very good idea, we can serve like this, and I humbly accept that. Even I think that there is other kind of service that we can do, or in other way we can do this service. We're surrendering, and we're trying to serve to and help this devotee. And one devotee said that if you have a lot of ideas how the temple management supposed to be, and this temple president is not thinking how it's supposed to be, then you can be a temple president, and you will see how hard it is, and you'll see this headache. Instead of this, you can just help this devotee to make this service, to make the management better. You can come to him, oh, we can do like this, or we can help. How can I help you to do this service? That is better for Srila Prabhupada. Because Gaudiya, we see the history of Gaudiya, that because a lot of devotees wanted to do the service from other ways, and totally Gautama destroyed. Srila Prabhupada once said, it's not official, he said in his conversation, that one devotee, it's one, two devotees, it's 11, and three devotees, it's 111. It's efficiency of our it's единство, collaboration. Yeah, it's our collaboration. It's as much as we collaborate together, as much we'll see this wonderful, wonderful results that the service for the Lord will appear. And from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, we can see it's very popular history of Prachetas. And the Lord came to them and he said, what he said? He said, I'm very pleased by that you cooperate with each other so nice. And we can see that the Srimad-Bhagavatam, it is said that it's very pleasing for the Lord that we cooperate with each other so nicely. It means that our false ego goes away and our internal ego of the servant of others, other devotees appear, and we're trying to cooperate with each other by why? We need to aim. We need to have some aim for that. Not just, we need to cooperate with each other. There is a lot of cooperation where the whole communities, and they have the teams and build team. How's the word is? Team buildings, just to make the money and to die in some moment after maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow. It's not for the future at all. But this cooperation is internal. By this cooperation, we can feel that we are the souls. By the internal activities, we eat internal food, it is spiritual food. We make internal and spiritual service, some thinking. We are working by why? Just to make opportunity to serve for the Lord, to have the family or the Grihastha are doing. While we are sleeping, it's not the sense enjoyment. We're sleeping that the body will take rest, and after, like tomorrow, we'll have opportunity to serve the Lord more nicely. It's our service also. It's not the sense enjoyment at all. Or we're eating also. It's not sense enjoyment, but kind of. For devotees, it's only. Even we're trying to build this consciousness that's whatever. The second, I will continue the what Srila Prabhupada instruction said. The second one, I have in Russian, I was writing for me and some notes, and that's why it's a little bit hard to translate. Whatever will, how to say, что бы ни случилось, не уходите из искон. Whatever happened, don't never leave ISKCON organization. We can see that we can think it could be a lot more instruction of Srila Prabhupada. A lot. We have 80 books of Srila Prabhupada instruction, but this instruction can show what I said, that fans of devotees can help us in our spiritual life. I can, if Bhaktichara Maharaj gave, he named this devotee, it's an example, it's not a criticism, but it's an example of devotees, of ISKCON devotee. His name is Madhudvisha Maharaj. He left ISKCON and he was a sannyasi. He got married. And after some time, what somebody knows about Madhudvisha Maharaj? You heard about? He could say that he fell down. That's it. I will not practice. And he actually left ISKCON for some time. He had married, but after some time, he sincerely accepted, and he accepted the position of humble servant. And he started to serve in this position. And Srila Prabhupada kindly accepted him. And he said to him, and what? Some devotees married or fell down, and where are them? But you he said to Madhudvisha Maharaj, you accepted that, and you continue. It's not, it's for Kali Yuga, it's not the falling. The main thing, you are continuing your service to the Lord. There is another example of Yashomatanandana Maharaj, Yashodanandana Maharaj. He was exemplary sannyasi. Exemplary. He knew a lot of shlokas, Bhagavad Gita, like so many verses by heart, a lot. I think more than Prahlanananda Maharaj in those days. In the previous, like so many, he was the bright sannyasi. He was very strict, and in some time, in one day, he thought he left. He was living in some devotee's house, but actually the parent of devotee, and he was practicing, and Bhaktichara Maharaj was asking about him to devotees. He was living in Buffalo in the United States, and every year he was asking the devotees how is Ishanvajananda Maharaj, and they said he's very good, he's still practicing, but he is not association with devotee. It's on devotees. Okay, and next year his idea was that he will become a lawyer. And Bhaktichara Maharaj asked, does he go to this university in sannyasi clothes? And they said no, he has the karmic clothes. Okay. But he was continuing his service. He worshipped the deities or some. He continued the Mahamantra, Japa. Next year he asked, next year he found the girlfriend. Or the next year, like it was every year the whole degradation become. Even he was very, very strict with himself. With any association with devotees, nobody can exist, can continue the practices of Bhakti Yoga. That's why Lord Chaitanya came and gave this Sankirtana, Samyak Kirtan. Samyak Kirtan means together. You cannot chant together with someone who you have anger to him, or you hate someone. You cannot chant. That's why it's cooperation, by changing our heart. We can chant. After that, we can chant together. Actually, by this process of Samyak Kirtan, by Sankirtan, we can change our heart also. If you want to continue this Yagya, Sankirtan Yagya, you need to cooperate with with another devotees, because you'll be alone. Nobody will sing with you because you're a bad boy or bad girl. That's why we need trying to. It's kind of karist. It's kind of selfish, but it's spiritual selfishness. We think about our soul in future, because we cooperate with each other to continue this Sankirtan together. And how do you think what the third one? The third instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Just everyone have three choices. Yeah.
Go back home.
Okay.
Always chant the glories and so on.
Always chant. Demonstrate.
Ask again. Say again the question.
The third instruction, I gave two instructions, the main instructions of Srila Prabhupada. And the third one, it is said that always chant glory and back home, back to Godhead. Collaboration, it was the first one. Okay. Chris, you can. Maybe. Just something. Maybe, Prabhu.
Well, at least I think it is to continue.
Continue.
Yeah. So continue the collaboration.
Don't leave it.
Don't leave ISKCON, it was the second one.
Okay.
Surrender yourself to, continue or surrender yourself. Yes.
Yeah. It's the main two. But it was a surprise actually for me. The GBC is the main controlling origin of ISKCON. Spiritual and management. The GBC. Just a second. It's another one. The GBC, because we know if there is a seminar, some seminars about the history of ISKCON and some Vaishnava Sampradayas actually. And the main instruction when devotees were fighting, when you go to GBC and ask, or you need, and some devotees didn't want to accept because it was the green devotees. The GBC was 20, 21, 22 years old devotees who are practicing for 1, 2, or 3 years maximum. Now we are practicing for like 5, 10, somebody more years, 20. And we couldn't understand it was a growing organization with a lot of hippies, a lot of problems, and they got this service of GBC. Srila Prabhupada picked the devotees who this body commission, and some of the devotees didn't want to accept the GBC like the main in ISKCON, and he said, I want to hear you, Prabhupada, your instruction. Srila Prabhupada said, okay, you want my instruction? Here, listen to GBC. Srila Prabhupada saw that this bad experience of he saw his god brothers fighting with each other, but it was an instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura about this cooperation body of organization. It wasn't traditional in India at all, because usually the devotees pick the acharya or the seniorist, the main senior devotee who can, and everyone is hearing. It's like a monarchy, kind of spiritual. But he have the example, he has the knowledge. And actually, for Gorgavinda Maharaj, it was very, very hard for that, because he was in GBC also, and he was very, very senior devotee. He was a born devotee, and when he was a child, he was singing, chanting some Bhaktivinoda Thakura bhajans. He born in India. The whole his family and his relatives were devotees. And Srila Prabhupada said that after me, it will be the GBC. And you need to accept that. And Gorgavinda Maharaj also was in that GBC. And it was hard for him that those devotees, the American or European devotees, couldn't hear him, because it's Indian tradition or Vedic tradition that the seniorist, if he says something, it is like that. But GBC, it's by they pick or they choose the law, or how to say that, next some instructions, or by the voting and how the parliament works. Because Srila Prabhupada could understand that in Kali Yuga, it's only way. And he saw that bad experience of Gaudiya Math, that it was totally destroyed by, they didn't heard the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, because he wanted that. And Srila Prabhupada just made what his spiritual master was doing, or wanted that. So the main instructions are, you will show your love by cooperating with each other. Whatever will happen, never leave ISKCON. And GBC is the main controlling origin, or how? Ultimate
managerial authority.
Yeah, managerial and spiritual, actually. Yeah. Because in ISKCON, there is two branches. It's spiritual branch and management. And in a temple, it's supposed to be also like that. There is a management, the pujari management, the head of pujaris, the main of accountants, like some managers. It's supposed to be management. And also, it's supposed to be another branch of the counselors or seniors, devotees, to whom the devotee can ask some spiritual questions. And those senior devotees, they lead the spiritual path of yatra also. They cooperate with each other. They they discuss only spiritual, the Srimad-Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, or some Vedic scriptures. Only that, no management at all. And by inspire to each other devotees can see how they are cooperating with each other, and they lifting out, they rising also. It's supposed to be like that. In these organizations, we have sannyasis, we have spiritual masters, we have the preachers. They don't think about the management. And for example, Indradyumna Maharaj, he's the spiritual warrior of our organization. He never even, he was asked maybe about GBC, but he never took this position. He was preaching the whole his life, and he will preach the whole his life also. It's supposed to be like that, actually. Yeah.
Time for some questions.
Yeah. If we have questions, sorry for taking the mic again. If there is some, you have some?
Yes.
Oh, this whole list.
So, Paramatma gives directions to everyone. Why allows humanity to do sinful acts?
We need actually the second mic for the, yeah, or we will not.
No, so, quiet. So, look,
Sorry. Hare Krishna, you will hear also the.
music.
Oh, okay.
So Paramatma gives directions to everyone. Why Super Soul allows living entities to do sinful acts? Why does it stop?
Like we said that Paramatma gives sanction. There is in Bhagavad Gita, there is of every act where there is five things, and Paramatma is one of these things. With of every act, there is five things with, and one of these is, the first one is place. Actually, I don't remember the other ways. Other one. And the Lord gives the opportunity or free will. Even we have small free will to do something. Lord Krishna gives this opportunity to every living being. Hare Krishna, thank you for your service. Because if no one, if we didn't want to, I'm trying to, in English it's kind of. Just the main thing, it's Krishna gives the opportunity us to make or the bad or the good things, but it's only duality actually in this material world, or bad or good. In the beginning of the text, we were speaking about that. It could be sinful activities, and we desire for some material enjoyment, or we can try to rise on the heavenly planets, and we will think what we enjoy our material senses on the heavenly planets. I think it's bad or good, but it's all sinful. And we think now it's war, it's very, very bad. We need to defend our country, our land, but from the spiritual point of view, Srila Prabhupada was never telling that. Yeah, for Varnashrama, it's for sure, it's for kind of way. But Lord Chaitanya rejected that, the whole Varnashram system. That's why we're choosing the path of bhakti, and the bhakti, it means that whatever we'll do, it's all spiritual, it's all good. We're enjoying not our senses, we're enjoying the senses of the Lord, and we're trying to serve, we're working for the Lord, we're sleeping for the Lord, we're eating, whatever we'll do, it's all for the Lord, and this is good. And Paramatma gives opportunity for everyone to have this opportunity, to have this, to show his как бы направление, his direction to the Lord. If someone, the person, wants to show the love, or for example in military stuff, and if it will or in school, for example, everyone hears the teachers, and or in some other in big companies, for example, they hear the director or some managers because they paid for that. They don't have the choice for that, to show the love or some feelings. But out of the work, if some his sense Krishna, his respect for some manager or director, it will shows his feelings to the manager, not if it will be out of the work. The same way, if we oblige to serve the Lord because we're afraid, because he will give something like our daily bread or something like that, it is not showing our free will. It's showing our fears or desires to have some material enjoyment. But if we serve to the Lord, even it's very, very hard or very, very good in our life, because if we have the cars, the helicopters, and everything like that, in this position, it will serve the Lord. Will show that our love surely the Lord understand that. Sorry, it was a little bit confusing. Yeah, maybe next one.
There was mentioned that soul is situated in the heart, and many times people think that the mind is situated in the head, but where is actually the mind situated?
Yeah, the question is that is in the text. It is said that the soul is situated in the heart, but the mind also is in the heart. And a lot of people, they think that our mind is in the head, and I'm thinking with the head. But when we asking on Sankirtan, for example, on the street, on Temu Prabhu asking to some person, "Where are you?" And he can show, "I'm here," and immediately the person said, "I'm here." Automatically, the person said, "I'm here," not "I'm here" or "here" or somewhere. It's automatically because on Super Soul gives the answers. The soul is situated in the zone called in Sanskrit, it's Hridaya. Hrid means heart, but it's not the material heart what pumps the blood. The Hrid, it's here, the soul is situated a little bit on the left, and the super soul is situated in the center. It is said that it's this size, something like that, from the middle finger to the big one. It's in the middle, and the living entity, the soul, is a little bit on the left. And after that comes the body of subtle body of the mind and the subtle body of the intelligence, and the subtle body of the false ego. And we think that we are this totally body. By this consciousness, Srila Prabhupada is saying that how we think, we understand that we are this body by the consciousness, that it's totally comes through all the body. If we touch, we understand that it's some consciousness. Yeah. Hare Krishna, maybe you add something.
I can add, but if you do it to session can become too long. Thank you so much. I had last question. You wonderfully mentioned about cooperation, and that we in Finland, people don't allow to be alone. Actually, yesterday I just noticed the statistic
that Helsinki is a city of singles. There's most single people here
Wow.
than anywhere else. So most of the people are single. So we see that people love to be alone, even devotees. So what could be done?
Hard question, actually. The main answer is modes of material nature, what influence very, very strongly on our, even for the devotees. The instruction of Srila Prabhupada is very, very strict about that. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that if we using our intelligence to make the fence of devotees around us, we can, if we are households, we can ask the devotees to come and to chant together, to give some prasadam. And Srila Prabhupada is saying that it's automatically for the grihastas for someone to come and you feed prasadam. Maybe it's not the tradition, but in India, for example, it's very obvious. Srila Prabhupada was saying that our tradition is when the devotees wanted to close the doors or something. Now we have the safety requirements here in the temple, but in the house also. But Srila Prabhupada said, don't close the doors. Our tradition is open doors and open hearts, by open doors, by opening the doors to the, because he was saying that every day they have the guests, and his mom or the father, some sannyasis, some devotees. He was speaking. He was trying to pick some devotees of the Lord, as much not the Mayavadis. He didn't. Gormahande. He was trying to invite the devotees, so his kids, his children, will see the devotees of the Lord every day. Even the experience of my wife, actually, also she born in family of devotees, and almost every day she had the devotees were in their house. Other like different devotees, even they were living in small city. Every day devotees, every day kirtan, prasadam, and it was the life of devotees. In the beginning, it's like the mode of goodness. It is said that it's in the beginning, it's poison comes. After poison becomes nectar. That's why in the beginning, it can be a little bit hard, a little bit poisonous but to invite devotees and to combine together to chant Hare Krishna, to discuss it, it's always nectar. I don't know where is poison actually. It could be hard because we have the work, but in Jaiva Dharma Bhaktivinoda Thakura, he says very, very direct instruction for the households. If our association is less than 51% with devotees, we don't even think about the progress in spiritual life. We don't need to imagine about that, or dream about that. It's impossible. Totally impossible, because we don't have the association with devotees, at least 51%, at least. As much we associate, as much will progress in our life. It's our choice. We'll read Srila Prabhupada books and we will listen Prabhupada's instruction. It's very, very strange to not see that in his instructions. That we need to associate as much as possible with devotees. And in the beginning of the Hare Krishna movement, the whole ISKCON movement, Srila Prabhupada didn't even accepted the devotees to live aside of the community. They were living together or nearby. And in every conversation, he was saying, "Oh, it's very good that we bought this property nearby the temple. Why they need to rent?" He was saying, "Why they need to rent somewhere and to pay money to some karmis? If they can pay the rent also for the temple and live nearby." And the progress was very, very fast. If we live, you can. I'm speaking with brahmacharis. The progress is very, very fast. You can imagine Tamil, for example, if you would live somewhere in an apartment, maybe 5-10 kilometers from here, how you will progress in spiritual life. It could be years, 10 years for this kind of step, or consciousness, what you are right now. 10 or 20 years it could be, seriously. Hare Krishna, sorry.
Thank you so much. Any more comments?
Yeah.
Listen, I received those comments. It's on the points you made that we could be big boss in our small project, or we can be little servant in a big Krishna project.
Try to remember that myself.
About this GBC forming, what I heard, Dalai Lama was saying that it will be known next Dalai Lama. He's an acharya of Buddhism, in a way. He said it will be a community of devotees, a committee of the senior disciples. Also about it, it's quite special, like in the West, like in India, the system of the temple is that they have a temple manager and they have a sannyasi. And even like young sannyasi could be like very young, could be like 25 years old. It must be sannyasi. So he's the spiritual leader of the temple, or what, and then manager, he's managing things. So they cooperate together. But in the West, it's a system of temple presidents, means polls. And simultaneously, he wanted devotees to discuss Shastra, as you mentioned, to have this community of senior devotees, preachers. It's all encouraged. It's very, very healthy. And this is a very how like mature temple president or organized, like in our temple also. We came up, I think we already have 5 years. We have now like Monday meeting, and we also would like to have also like preachers meeting because this Monday meeting we do management for spiritual upliftment, so it's all like always interconnected.
Yeah, it's connected for sure because it's
Yeah.
spiritual organization.
Yeah, but to doing that is in 1 hour of Sangha achieve so much. But we're also thinking of we have just themselves who associate with each other, but it's nice to have preachers associating with each other. Like this. Yeah, but also about GBC, Prabhupada's vision, what I heard that GBC, he's local. GBC is very local. He constantly visiting his places. It could be like few countries, max, few places, and he constantly visits and he spends time with the devotees. Like GBC should come and go on Sankirtan, visit Sankirtan devotees, and see that they're actually chanting, they're actually reading
Yeah.
all these things. Prabhupada wanted that. This is GBC. And about renting the house, Sweden had such. In Stockholm, they have a house, and devotees live in that house, like a Bhakti project also, Bhakti Center project in Riga. In Riga, they have this project where the families rent the place in the devotee house, big house, apartment. Yeah, actually, I have one question. Last question. How are not devotees?
Not fa-
Too familiar.
I'm too familiar. We read Srila Prabhupada books. Will not be familiar, that's for sure. Because after reading Prabhupada's book at least 1 hour, we understand the whole price, I will say this word, of the association of devotees and the devotees themselves, how precious they are and how rare they are. Even in Finland, it's only in this kind of area. It's very rare. If you'll go on the north somewhere, you'll be alone for sure. If you will live down there 1 year, you'll be eager to, like devoted. How's his name in Oulu? Janardhan Prabhu. He lives there by some circumstances. Hare Krishna, by the way, if you're listening. I have low basis. But we can see how when he comes, how eager and how humbly and how respected he is with devotees. Because he understands it's very special souls, the devotees. In English, as I heard Maharaj, Anandavardhana Maharaj, he said that in Finnish language, this respected you, it's not used to when you sing. In Russian, there is you and respected kind.
Sir.
Sir, yeah.
My dear sir.
My dear, yeah, respected one. And we, like Maharaj, was asked about that, and he said that in Russian is very easy to go from familiarity to the respected form. You go to the respected form, and when you call someone Prabhu, or sometimes I'm calling when somebody is calling me, or I'm asking, I'm telling my not the Lord, Господин, my master. I'm translating from the Sanskrit. Yes, my master. And when we can say Prabhuji or some Prabhu, Haribol, Prabhu. But if we are translating that Haribol, master, you cannot say it like that. It means that we don't have this consciousness of the words with the same as Mataji is respected. Ji means Mata, is mother, and more respected Mata. Mother, very respected mother. We cannot say something like that. It means that we need add some consciousness to our things, and that's why we hello, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna my master. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. I when I came, actually, I was to all the devotees. I was saying this respected form, and some seniors and some devotees said, "Why you even with your friends?" I was speaking with this respected form, and once I said, I start to speak in this you form, and our relationship become really very, very fast, become familiar, very fast. And in those, I could say some jokes, I could say some instructions to him, but it's not the way how to deal with devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Gopal Krishna Prabhu ki jai.